lads. Let's take a look. I think we're live. We are. Fantastic. All right, rock and roll, baby. Rock. Well, my hair is a mess after I put on those. That's all right. That's all right. Guys, welcome. This is Overexposed. Oh, actually, hold on. I was hearing myself on one of the streams. Welcome, everybody. This is Overexposed. I'm Eddie, aka Dancing Eddie, and this is the first show that we are finally on schedule. Let's go. Like, dude, it's been a lot. It's been especially the last 2, 3, 4 weeks even. I had finals. I went on a little family vacation, which was lovely. Can't complain. But it's nice to have a schedule. You know, it's nice to know kind of what's going on, when it's going on, et cetera, et cetera. So this is the first show of the scheduled shows. All right. We're rocking. We're rolling. If you guys are watching, you know the deal. Likes, reposts, etc. They help out the stream hugely. Okay. Same thing goes for all the clips, whatever. If you guys see my face and you want to help out, just engage. It's very appreciated. I like chatting with all you guys. I like seeing what you guys have to say. It's fun for me, and it's great for the stream. So, what's our schedule going to be? We got Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. I was thinking 8 p.m. Eastern, and then I was like, dude, even this Tuesday, I might have a date at like 7 or 8, 6, 7 p.m. Eastern. And I was like, I don't want to cancel streams because I just want to. Dude, I'm like 26. At some point this year, it's probably not a bad idea if I go on a couple dates. So I should keep my Tuesdays and Thursdays game, open. Oh wait, we got hold on. I want to say hello. I saw we have a comment. Joshua, hello Joshua. Good to see you, dude. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Send it to a friend. I'm kidding. I'm well, not entirely kidding. But I've got like a date, potentially this week. And I was like, she's a cute Ukrainian girl, actually. So do I want to cancel my stream? I still want to do my stream, but I want to have my cake and eat it too. Oh, that might be the worst phrase to say there, but you get the idea. You get the, jeez, man, I got to work on that. Oh boy. So anyway, that's the situation. Probably going to do 5 p.m. Not probably. We are doing 5 p.m. Eastern, Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays for the foreseeable future. We're going to rock and roll. If you see me live, come hop in and we'll get things rolling. We got a lot to talk about today. It's been a busy day, a busy, weekend for those of us here in the United States and abroad, evidently, in the news cycle. It's been pretty freaking wild to see our boys, in the military go like, I don't know, take a dictator, just yoink, take him out of there, walk out scot-free. No, what? We got so much to dive into there. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to say off top of mind? And before I get things started, let me go ahead and share this to 1 or 2 chats. Just see what people say. Let's see, chat. I'll just say this. Please feel free to hop on in, lads. And send that. All right, great. That's out. That is out. That is out in the public. It's out in the public. All right, so then I think that's probably about it. I think we're probably ready to go. Let's go ahead and get things started here, Chris. Pull my bookmarks in. There we are. And before we do this, actually, wait. Sorry, can you pull it out? Sorry. Can you go back to the shot of just me? All right, let me just say this. Before we get into any international politics discussion, I have to put on the hat. All right. So I can't discuss international politics without my shield on. This is my tinfoil hat. The Ramelia hat. I'm immune to propaganda. I don't know if really anyone's immune to propaganda, but still, this is the hat. It's the shield. It's the shield that guards the realms of men. Oh, it's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. Oh man. I do like the Romelia community though. They are a feisty bunch. They say a lot of really not great things, but they are also, remarkably intelligent. So you take what you could get. And they're an interesting bunch. My favorite is all the little memes of like, oh, what are all these little characters? Why do they all look the same? I saw someone, there's like all Romelias are Nazis. I was like, geez, guys, what are we? Anyway, there's a lot going on there, but I felt that this hat, if anything, was certainly fitting for the topics of discussion today. All right, let's hop into it. So I've got a lot of bookmarks. We're kind of just gonna go like bang, bang, bang through a bunch of these and just kind of see what we talk about because there's so many here. One, Nicolas Maduro. I mean, we could just let me see if I can pull up some news. Hold on. Venezuela. Yeah, let's pull up Venezuela. All right. And I'll just go ahead and share this for a sec. Basically, Venezuela had this illegitimate dictator. Let me see. Let me see if I can catch this up for those of us who are potentially not from this audience. Here's what you need to know about Venezuela, okay? Venezuela had a illegitimate dictator that was, when I say illegitimate, people like to say, "Oh, elections get stolen," right? And that's been a phrase that a lot of people, especially here in the United States, have gotten very used to over the last few years. And there's a lot of like, elections don't really get stolen. Let me just be clear. The election in Venezuela was definitely stolen by Maduro. Like, it's not a question. The world agrees. They made up the votes. The opposition won. Okay? The opposition won. Clearly won. Look at, there's a whole story. Like, for those of us in the United States, we missed a lot of what happened. What's her name? Maria Corina Machado led the revolution. She led the opposition and then like got forced out of the country in the process. And her supported candidate won the election. And Maduro, the essentially dictator of Venezuela, stepped in and said, nah. Literally stole the election and is known to be an illegitimate leader. This has been ongoing for years at this point. Like, we know that this is the case. And the world agrees. Like, if you look across the world definitely agrees. This is not some question mark. Right and left, people from both sides of the aisle agree that Nicolas Maduro he's illegitimate. Like, he is not the president. He just stole it. He's been acting as the dictator, but he is not the rightful president in Venezuela. So that's where we start, okay? Mind you, Venezuela has been like in a series of just falling from grace over the course of the last, 20 some odd years. This is a country that has the largest oil reserves on the planet. It's bigger than Saudi Arabia, okay? This country is blessed with black gold underneath their feet. The problem is, one, it's really hard to extract because it's in the middle of the jungle and it's a lot of, like, they call it heavy crude, okay? So it's not easy to get to. But they're blessed with it. They've got so much money just sitting underneath their feet. But it's like the corruption is outstanding. The corruption is genuinely outstanding. There are so many foreign interests at play. This is a location that is prime real estate for China and Russian interests. It's like on the footstep. I think it's a 2.5-hour flight from Miami. It is right there. And there's so much money there. And it's just rife with corruption. So it just makes a ton of sense, right? It makes a ton of sense for this. The other problem here is you look across the world, like you look at the Middle East and you look at a lot of the oil countries in the Middle East. You look at Saudi Arabia, you look at the United Arab Emirates, and you see just these pillars of money basically getting shoved into it's like an affront to all things rational. We're putting massive, hundreds of feet tall massive buildings in the middle of the desert. They're like shining empires in the middle of the desert, built off of all this oil money. And then you look at Venezuela, and it's just absolutely crumbling in many ways. And that's just a result of massive corruption and massive inefficiencies and getting that money out of the ground. If you just look at, like, for example, the production, the oils per day production that comes out of Venezuela is like a fraction of that compared to Saudi Arabia. And then you could think how much of that is improperly used or mismanaged or goes abroad and weird, like a whole load of garbage. And the entirety of Venezuela has just been like under the grip of this basically terrible dictatorship for like the last 20 some odd years. Hugo Chavez came in, I think, 1998. Okay. It's been a disaster. So, under that pretense, not great. But, how many other not great, regimes exist around the world? We don't really want the U.S. to get involved in everything. But that's just kind of where we're at. Okay? Over the weekend, the United States went in there and over the weekend, the United States went into Venezuela and just took the dictator, just took him. Literally just grabbed him, scooped him, and walked out of there like nobody's business. No one died. There was scot-free practically. Apparently a helicopter got hit, but that was it. It's like insane. Attorney General Pam Bondi says Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. Okay. He was charged with, let's go down the list: narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices against the United States. Yikes. They will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil and American courts on behalf of the entire United States DOJ. I would like to thank President Trump for having the courage to demand accountability on behalf of the American people. And this one's big, and a huge thank you. Genuinely, God bless the American United States servicemen and women. Unbelievable. Huge thank you to the brave military who conducted the incredible and highly successful mission to capture these two alleged international narco traffickers. Here's the thing. He's not the president, okay? I believe under the Geneva Convention, maybe, let me look into this. Hold on. I believe it's under the Geneva Convention. You cannot, like, let me figure this out. I know the words, but I want to make sure I have it right. Geneva Convention, immunity for sitting president. No, sitting international leaders. Yeah. Sitting international leaders generally have immunity from criminal prosecution in foreign national courts for the duration of their time in office under customary international law. This is known as the ratio personae immunity. However, the Geneva Conventions themselves do not grant this immunity. Oh, wait, what is this under? Vienna Convention. Okay, hold on. So let me rephrase this. Okay. Yeah. So the Vienna Convention on oh my god. My god, dude. My language today is just not helping me. The Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, the VCDR, provides immunity for diplomatic agents, but the absolute immunity for sitting international leaders. Right. Got it. So that's when people are pointing to international law, they're talking about sitting international leaders. Here's the thing. Most countries around the world do not recognize Nicolas Maduro as the actual real leader of Venezuela because it was a stolen election. Like, we know it was a stolen election. And heads of state around the world, Europe, United States, etc., agree like that was stolen. And if you want to know, like, it's not just, oh, this is the Trump side, this is the Republican side. This Biden's administration put a massive bounty on his head. Hold on. Let me find this. Biden administration Maduro bounty. That's not how you spell bounty. Okay. Oh, dude. So many of these websites are just not fast. Like they're just so improperly. I'm trying to scroll. I can't even scroll. Unbelievable. Wow. What a terrible website. I'm stuck. Like I actually can't scroll down. Terrible website. Okay. Uh bro, can I not? Are you serious? That's so frustrating. That is so frustrating. Whatever. Um okay, perfect. According to the BBC, on January 10th, 2025, this was last year, the United States, this was the Biden administration announced a $25 million reward for the arrest of Maduro. This was not even a year ago, January 10th. It's January 4th today. This raid happened on the 2nd. Like, not even a year ago, the Biden administration was putting out a reward for his arrest. This is extremely recent. His foreign secretary, this is the United States foreign secretary, David Lammy, went on to describe Maduro's regime as fraudulent. This is under the Biden administration. Like, the U.S. government, both right and left, both sides agree that this was not a legitimate presidency. So under the Vienna Convention, he is not, you could argue he's not a sitting international leader. So yes, well, he might have absolute immunity if he was if he was a legitimate international leader. He's not. He's just not. It's very interesting. So let's get into some of these bookmarks. I want to talk about them. I think this is really interesting. Yeah, this one's funny. Share this tab. All right. This was from 2020. Joe Biden tweeted, "Trump talks tough on Venezuela, but admires thugs and dictators like Nicolas Maduro." This aged like milk, I'll be honest. Intern should probably delete this one. That's so tough. It's so tough. I mean, like, he's definitely, I don't think he admires him. He threw him in, he's throwing him in jail. Like, he's we sent out what 150 American planes and aircraft to get this guy, and then took him from literally from his bed in Venezuela to the DEA office in New York City in under 24 hours. Yeah, I don't know if that's admiration, to be honest. That's pretty insane. We'll keep going. See, this was the first time that I actually think that Zohran Mamdani might have actually been out of his depth here. I was briefed this morning on the U.S. military capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, as well as their planned imprisonment in federal custody here in New York City. Here, in fairness, he is a New York City mayor. He actually has a right to comment on this. A lot of people on the right wing are saying, like, dude, know your lane. No, he has a right to comment on this and was probably actually briefed. But here's the problem. Unilaterally attacking a sovereign nation is an act of war and a violation of federal and international law. He's very, 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 very careful to not say that we violated said law. He's just defining it. The words here define what a breach of international law is. He is not saying that the United States actually breached said federal and international law. And he also says President Nicolas Maduro. People on the right and the left both agree that he's not the legitimate president. So to acknowledge him as such is a little bit, I don't know if I agree with that, Mr. Zohran Mamdani. I don't know if I agree with that. Ah. And here's the other thing. He's like, it directly impacts New Yorkers, including tens of thousands of Venezuelans who call this city home. The Venezuelans are celebrating. Venezuelans are cool with this. They're very happy. They're very happy. It's just sometimes like sometimes it becomes a little too evident sometimes when one side is very clearly just trying to oppose. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of everything that Trump has to say or do, but at the same time, like this was pretty efficient. It worked out near flawlessly. Everyone on the Venezuelan side are basically all happy about this, and the United States gets a lot out of this as well, which we'll get into. So it's like kind of a win-win. No one really seems upset except for political opposition for the Trump regime. That's it. And again, to be acknowledging that to be acknowledging that Nicolas Maduro is president, I'm thinking you're a little out of your depth here, I'll be honest with you. We'll get to the buybacks later, probably. This has got to be the funniest thing, maybe, to come out of this entire ordeal was Maduro when he was on the USS Iwo Jima and he was being, transported back to the United States, was maybe in one of the hardest outfits of all time. He's in this, a Nike Tech getup, looking absolutely fresh. Also, shockingly looking exactly like Dr. Disrespect. And in the process, you got to see this. Dude, the guy looks fresh. Like, a lot of people are saying this image was taken supposedly to humiliate. One, it's taken to prove that he was actually on the USS Iwo Jima. And two, this isn't humiliation. He looks fresh. Like, this guy looks good. He might be basically an evil dictator, but at least he's dripped. He is dripped out. He's dressed to the nines. I would wear this fit 100%. And I'm not the only one. Let me find this Nike Tech fleece. Guys, Nicolas Maduro's fit literally sold out. It's sold out on Nike. His fit's gone. It's gone. That's the Maduro fit. It's guys. The Maduro fit is no longer available. You can't buy it. It's been sold out. It's gone. Not the unintentional Nike ad in one of the biggest US raids in the last decade. Unbelievable. Actually unbelievable. Because the man looks stripped. He looks stripped. This shirt, like, if you look good being ripped out of your bed in the middle of the night, thrown on the USS Iwo Jima, and you're just wearing a Nike sweater and track jumpsuit, that thing's heat, selling out immediately. Unbelievable. It's like truth, like the reality of this stuff is just unbelievable comical. Unbelievable comedy. Unbelievable. People are saying he's humiliated. I could not agree less. He definitely looks stripped. Oh, man. So here's the kicker, right? So the United States is poised to take control of Venezuelan oil reserves valued at approximately $17.3 trillion. Now, obviously, according to international law, Venezuela has rights to its oil reserves, right? I believe it's something like 200 miles off the coast, as well as, everything within its own territorial boundaries on land, which, $17.3 trillion worth of reserves. They are the largest. They are the largest reserves on the planet. they eclipse Saudi Arabia. They're the biggest. So there's a lot of black gold under the feet of the Venezuelans and underneath their ships. So when headlines like this say that we're poised to take control, we're not just saying, oh, we own the reserves now. We don't just own it. We do, however, have some claim that there are some outstanding historical investments that U.S. companies have had that were definitely nationalized. Like they were nationalized when Hugo Chavez took power. Okay. So U.S. investments were actually taken to the tune of literally billions of dollars. Like it's not even a question fact. Billions of dollars were definitely taken from United States companies and just nationalized under Venezuela. This was under Hugo Chavez. So, yes, there is some claim. There is some claim that the U.S. has to this oil. Now, I saw, I got to find this great video. I definitely recorded it. Let me find it. There's this amazing video, okay? Let me see if I can play some audio here.
Y le pido a todos que tengan fe, no sé dónde irá a salir, pero le pido a todos que tengan fe, que no se dejen llenar la cabeza de que los gringos solo quieren el petróleo y los gringos solo quieren sus riquezas.
So he's saying like, oh, they want our oil, right? And people are saying, oh, they're only interested in the oil.
O sea, a esas personas les pregunto.
He's like, let me ask you a question.
¿Qué creen ellos que querían los rusos y los chinos durante tanto tiempo? La receta de la arepa.
Unbelievable. The guy's like, hey, the Russians, the Chinese who are already here, do you think they're here because they want the recipe for arepas? No, they want the oil too. Like they're here for the same reason. Every superpower across the planet is here for the same reason. They want the oil. Okay? They're not just here because they're here for the vibes. There's some pretty nice vacation spots in Venezuela, okay? Some nice beaches. I hear good things about the Latinas, okay? But they're not there for that, all right? They're there for the oil, obviously. Yes, like they're not people. It's bizarre. It's almost like people have this desire to want to talk down. People have this desire to like talk down, apparently, in some way to the Venezuelans. And they're like, guys, they're actually coming for your oil. Like, no, they're not stupid. They're not dumb. They're very cognizant of the resources that they have. They know how valuable that oil is. They know. They're celebrating because the person who has basically confiscated all of that oil, directed it towards corruption and foreign interests, is now out. And at least, hopefully now the free market can get involved. Obviously, yes, the U.S. has pretty severe interests here, right? They want to put massive investments here, and they want to have a very good deal in place that makes the U.S. companies very rich, obviously. But if things go well, hopefully, the Venezuelans also make out really well in the process, and they make out much better than they have been, hopefully. And also, this dictator that has silenced free speech, that has made, political dissidents on edge across the country, has laughed in the face of democracy, literally stolen the election. He's out. And they're celebrating. So yes, the U.S. may be taking over, or at least like having significant influence over the largest oil reserve on the planet. And you might have opinions on that. But the Venezuelans seem to be pretty cool with it. For reasons that are pretty reasonable. I don't know. And it's also like on the oil front, not only that, not only does arguably Venezuela potentially get a much better deal, if not like they really are likely to get a much better deal than having a dictator who doesn't care about the will of the people and how much they're making, as long as he gets to direct the money towards his own interests. Not only that, and now we get the free market involved. But beyond that, like if the Venezuelan oil finally is invested into, it's one of the it's big, heavy crude oil. It's very difficult to extract out of Venezuela, and it's very difficult to refine. Their production of oil is severely limited. If that can be upped significantly and then pumped out into the global market, oil prices across the world will go down pretty substantially, which is really bad for Russian interests. Which is funny to me because a lot of the people that are very against this whole thing also really want Russia to lose. They really want Russia to struggle in their conflict against Ukraine and also just generally. And if you want that, you kind of want America to flood the market with oil. It's just like, it's right there. This is a win-win. The Venezuelans are thrilled. The politicians across the, how do I say this? It's a win-win. The Venezuelans are thrilled. Politicians that are against the interests of the United States generally, and against the interests of United States citizens, both on the right and on the left, lose. It's like, what's that game? It's like flawless victory. It's kind of hard to say this wasn't, great. Yeah, see, this is the problem too. It's like there are people protesting, and the people who are protesting are the same people that were part of the No Kings crowd. I'm not even that political. Like I'm pretty middle ground, but the hypocrisy and the irony here is it's just palpable. Like you could literally slice it with a butter knife. It's that thick. It's the same crowd. It is literally the same crowd of people. Unreal. This is okay. So, and I'll talk about this for a second. So, Vittorio here is a noted right-wing influencer on Twitter, but he brings up a pretty salient point here. Like a lot of the, but he brings up a pretty salient point. All right. There, and he's referring to the entire American left, but there are, we'll call it a vocal minority of the American left. Entire belief system is defined by the negation of whatever the right supports. Like this is, I didn't necessarily believe that TDS or Trump derangement syndrome or whatever really existed because, like, it's not like Trump is flawless in my opinion. But at the same time, like this was a pretty generally agreeable move. The result was generally pretty agreeable. And they're protesting. Free Maduro? What are we talking about? The guy stole a democratic election. The guy has silenced his own people and destroyed free speech in Venezuela. He's ruined the lives of literally millions of people. And the U.S. on arguably not even arguably, I would say justified grounds, went in and took him and are going to try him, according to Pam Bondi. And they're like, free him? They want the dictator back in power? To me, this screams like lack of an opinion other than whatever is the opinion against the right. That's it. I don't know. It's like it's really hard to understand what's going on here, right? Like what do you actually stand for, A year ago you would have a year ago you would have celebrated Maduro's capture. A year ago you would have celebrated his capture and been happy to see a dictator taken off the street. Again, it's like the No Kings crowd, but now it's a problem. It's tough. Like I don't understand it. The Biden administration literally put a bounty on his head. And here's a question, right? In the United States, if you hire a hitman to commit murder, right? Like if you put a bounty on someone's head for murder, you yourself as the hirer, as the person who put the bounty, you go to jail just the same. You are tried with the exact same, you have the murder charge. So is putting a bounty on his head not just the same as actually taking him to jail? Like the intent is exactly the same. The Biden administration wanted him in jail. They wanted him imprisoned. They literally, it's $25 million. It was not a joke of a bounty. It was a serious bounty. I don't know. It's just the inconsistency is tough. And I understand if there's nuance, right? I would understand if there was nuance in the argument, but there really just isn't. There really isn't. The international law that is supposed to protect the leaders of sovereign nations apply to legitimately put in place leaders and legitimately recognized leaders. He's not. Maduro's not. Let's keep things rolling. Oh, let me see what else we got. So I can't tell if I hate this or if I love this, but the White House is one of the wildest social media accounts maybe ever. The White House itself is posting stuff like this.
Venga por mí. Aquí lo esperan Miraflores. No se tarde en llegar, cobarde.
And now, if you don't know, now you know.
Wait. Dude, and there's an N-word in there too, like from the White House account. From the White House account. You know, that's one way to appeal to an electorate, is just putting out heat social media edits. But at the same time, I personally, I would love if my government accounts were putting out just like statements, very clear-cut statements, and leaving the edits to the citizenship. But that is a Trump admin right there. I mean, wow. It is a pretty funny video, but also, wow.
Venga por mí. Aquí lo esperan Miraflores. No se tarde en llegar, cobarde.
And now, if you don't know, now you know.
Crazy. Just actually crazy. Like this is literally the White House account. I'm at a loss. Like that's crazy.
Venga por mí.
What can you say? What can you say? The internet is insane these days. And honestly, I'm desensitized to it. I'm just kind of here for the the chaos, I guess. Might as well see what happens. At least it's entertaining. At least it's wildly entertaining. Even if questionable in its ethics. Anyway. What else we got? Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is Ari Aramesh, okay? Whitcomb Zelensky, PC managing attorney, DC and LA. He is a Democrat. I urge my fellow Democrats, especially those in the House and Senate who still give a damn about national security, to wake up, stop attacking Trump just because he's Trump or Republican. Capturing Maduro and hauling him here like a criminal is American strength. Scaring the hell out of dictators like Khamenei and warning that there will be consequences for murdering protesters is a good thing. It's a good thing. The isolationists, that whole theory, that's generally conservative, by the way. Like the whole isolationist thing has generally been a conservative thing. Like, it's hard. It's bizarre. It's bizarre to watch this like two-sided politics where one side can consistently over and over be for one thing. And as soon as the other side does that thing, it's wrong. Like, oh no, not like that. My lobster is too buttery and my steak is too juicy. It's just sometimes American politics are exhausting, you know? It would be nice. It'd be nice if, like, when America has a win, it's just a win, you know? And when America has a loss, it's not like, well, actually, if you do this and you look at it this way, it's actually a win. No, like, it was a loss, you know? It's exhausting. And I feel like average Americans can see through it, can see through the BS. And I feel like most Americans are like, you know what? That was generally good. Or you know what? That was generally bad. But I almost like hate this current state of politics where it's just like, if the right did it, it's wrong. If the left did it, it's wrong. Like the left and the right can both do right and they can both do wrong. And it's a good idea to kind of just judge things for what they are. Imagine. Or judge things individually and not just say because the right did it, it's wrong, or because the left did it, it's wrong. But welcome to American politics in the big old 2026. Wild. What else we got? Yeah. I'm gonna comment on that. So the Maduro raid was excellently gate kept. Like, there were almost no leaks, right? As far as we know, I think there were basically no leaks. People did not know that this was going to happen until it had already happened / was in the process of happening, except if you were tracking Pentagon Pizza Index. Apparently, at the time of the raid, the Pentagon Pizza Index suddenly skyrocketed. Okay? At the time of the invasion, the Pentagon Pizza Index suddenly skyrocketed. And what the whole idea here is, when people are staying late, they're staying overnight, right? Like they're just kind of overworking. They're ordering food. What's the easiest thing to order on a snap? Pizza, right? They're bringing in food to feed the people who are now overshift by 4 hours. So suddenly, all the pizza shops start getting inundated with orders that they otherwise wouldn't have had. And they're busier than average during later times of the night. And they're like, maybe this is indicative that the people who are making significant and influential decisions have decided that something is important enough that they're staying in overnight. And apparently it predicted that something was happening. Skyrocketing 770% above normal at Papa John's near the Pentagon. Something was happening. People realized something's going on. And that something was we were taking a dictator straight out of Venezuela. Like, it's crazy. Open source intelligence is actually insane. Unbelievable stuff, guys. Hold on, let's see. Let me just click on that. Hold on. Dude, like, right now, the Domino's pizza's at 176% spike. It's much busier than usual. But here, Extreme Pizza, kind of quiet. District Pizza, quiet. A lot of quiet. But Pizza Tato, wait, yeah, there's nothing going on there. Papa John's is kind of doing all right. This is open source intelligence. This is where we're at. Like, this is where we're at in the current day and age, okay? Unbelievable. Imagine if this was how they track things, you know, in the 1900s, or hell, even like in the year 1082, they were like, the king's favorite. What did they eat back then? Like lamb? Okay. The king's favorite lamb court is working overtime these days. Perhaps there is something of note. Oh, jeez. It's like, what are we talking about? The Pentagon Pizza Index is accurately predicting serious updates in international occurrences. Like, unbelievable stuff. Wow. Anyway, let's go back. Oh my God. Let's keep going. Okay. See, this was hilarious. Caught up in all the shuffle, there were Chinese officials that showed up in Venezuela literally just hours before Maduro was yoinked and taken out of there. Hours before Chinese officials showed up. Imagine you travel, let's say 12, 14 hours by plane, okay? You're going there to meet with an important business individual. About like an hour and a half before you're set to meet with them. Oh, by the way, the American military showed up, bombed a bunch of air defense installations, and took the president. So you're not going to meet him today because he's in America on an unscheduled business trip. Unsure if he's ever going to come back from that, by the way. Like, what? The most awkward work trip ever. Yeah, that's crazy. That is an absolutely absurd thing to have happen live while you're on the work trip. Oh, man. Just another routine day, huh, boys? It's like, wow. All right, let's keep going. That was funny, but we'll keep going. This was interesting. We'll get back to that probably towards the end, as was this. Yeah. So let's talk about this. So Kamala Harris thought it would be a good idea to just chime in on the whole situation, and I don't get it. That Maduro is a brutal, illegitimate dictator does not change the fact that this action was both unlawful and unwise. The American people do not want this. Okay. I don't think that that's accurate. This is not about drugs or democracy. It's about oil. Like, this is what I'm saying. It's being talked to. It's being talked down to. This is what I'm saying. Everyone knows it's about oil. Even Donald Trump himself said it was about oil over and over and over again. Yes, the drugs are also pretty big, right? Like, let's not discount the fact that Venezuelan drugs are pretty insane. You know what they do in Venezuela with their drugs? They make submarines in the middle of the jungle that are impossibly difficult to detect. They have surface ships like fishing boats, put out hooks in the water. Those submarines attach, right? They have electric motors, very quiet electric motors, but they pull them along the ocean. And then if those fishing boats are ever stopped, the submarine detaches, sails away, hides away, comes back like 6-8 hours later, comes back, rehitches back on, and they sail it back. And it's so profitable. The only reason that we know that this is definitely happening is because it's so profitable that they can literally just offload the drugs, offload the illicit substances, take out all the goodies, if you want to call it that, and then just sink the boat off the harbor. So we're finding these submarines like scattered across the seabed. And they're like, oh my God, these are just drug-carrying submarines that were so profitable that they build them for one-time uses. It's actually crazy. It's actually just crazy. We're going to get to some of the crypto stuff later today, but this is just insane. Anyway, the president is putting troops at risk, spending billions, destabilizing a region, and offering no legal authority, no exit plan, and no benefit at home. One, definitely a benefit at home. U.S. companies make a lot of money from this. No exit plan. That is fair. Okay? The last time that we did something that was massive, like a massive unseating of a foreign political, questionable opponent, was when we replaced the Ayatollah in Iran with someone that we thought would work. Fast forward to now, they did not work. Okay? Like, it was not a good move. It didn't work out. It was not in our favor. That was a big yikes. So yes, that is a fair point, and that is a concern. But it's also something that, we can actually fix that. destabilizing a region. It was already unstable. It was already unstable. And the people there are celebrating. They're all thrilled. The Venezuelans are thrilled. Destabilized, they're thrilled. Spending billions. Welcome to the United States military. Okay? That's just what they do. They spend billions of dollars. Have done so for years. They did so under every administration for like the past, I don't even know how many years. I don't know how long our military budget has been in excess of billions of dollars. But for like as long as America has been America, military has been priority numero uno. Okay? Such is life as an American. Lowering costs for working families. That's kind of the idea of getting oil prices low. Gas at, $1 or $2 a gallon would be nice. Would be nice. Strengthening alliances. How does this hurt? They're cool with this. It's like they're an adversarial country. They were adverse to the United States interests and allies. They're pro-China and pro-Russia. It's like people read this and they see through the BS. They know it's just like there's ways to critique this. There are ways to critique this. But saying things that everyone knows is like, wait a minute. They're not an ally. And none of their allies are allies of ours. Like we didn't make any of our allies any unhappier. Like it was just a W. Yeah, totally from Solana says she's awful. Obama waffled on the red lines in Syria. Yeah, that was pretty huge error. And let Russia take the reins. 1 million people died in Syria. Russia took Crimea and invaded Ukraine. 1 million more dead. Iran expanded its ring of fire strategy. Countless dead. Yeah. It's just like people see through the BS, man. It's not even a right-wing take. It's just like, what are you saying? AI is going crazy powerful, though. In just a couple hours, like a day after the just like a couple hours, maybe a day after the whole raid in Venezuela with Nicolas Maduro getting extracted to the United States, people are already making AI edits, and specifically really actually kind of good and kind of great anime edits. Watch this.
Así que el cambio de régimen, además de ilegal, es inmoral. Y aquí no lograrán ni colonizar, ni esclavizar, ni a Venezuela, ni a América del Sur, ni a nuestra América. Y si algún día tocan a Venezuela, toda la América se levantará por nosotros.
I mean, it's kind of fire. Like, this is good. I would watch this anime. They made this in like hours. It's great.
So now let's go to reaction that's pouring in from world leaders this morning who are waking up to a new reality with what happened overnight.
Dude, they made this anime in like 6 hours? Whoa. And AI is crazy. Like that is a crazy video. I would actually watch whatever movie is made out of that. Like that looks actually interesting. The visuals are really appealing. They made it in like maybe 6 hours. This video came out Jan 4th. Okay? 2 days after the raid. Like a day after he landed. Not even. Unbelievable. The speed of content is just crazy. That's sick. What else we got? Okay, we should mention this.
We need Greenland for we
In the wake of the whole Venezuela Maduro thing, Trump is now saying that the United States needs Greenland for national security reasons.
need Greenland for national security. Not for minerals. We have so many sites for minerals and oil and everything. We have more oil than any other country in the world. We need Greenland for national security. And if you take a look at Greenland, you look up and down the coast, you have Russian and Chinese ships all over the place.
See, he has a point, okay? One of the biggest benefits of the whole Venezuela situation is that Russia had intended to put forward military bases in Venezuela that would have been within striking distance of the United States. It was like a very important geopolitical location for foreign adversaries like Russia, like China, to put up shop so that they were within striking distance of United States assets like that. And having them unaligned from those, foreign adversaries is a big win. Greenland, the thing is, like, the northern ice caps have been slowly melting. Like, we know that they've been melting. And as they've been melting, the northern ice caps have actually opened up more trade routes and more viable opportunities for ships to pass much faster, where they used to not be able to because there was literally ice in the way. You can now go over the North Pole, basically, to get across the planet much faster. That's an important shipping lane. And it's an important, mechanism of travel for ships across the world. And Greenland is one of the closest positions to having a military base within also, striking distance to protect any interests that flow through that area. So it's no wonder that Trump is saying that the United States needs Greenland for national security reasons, because even whether or not we actually need it, it is valuable for national security reasons. Now, the flip side of this is, let me see this. Where's the Denmark Prime Minister? Denmark Prime Minister, hold on. Where's the comment? Yeah, there we go. Now, the Prime Minister of Denmark obviously doesn't agree. It makes absolutely no sense to speak of any necessity for the United States to take over Greenland. Well, it makes some sense. It might not be necessary, but it is definitely valuable. The United States has no legal basis to annex one of the three countries of the Kingdom of Denmark. That's probably fair. The Kingdom of Denmark, and thus Greenland, is a member of NATO and therefore covered by the alliance's collective security guarantee. We already have a defense agreement between the Kingdom of Denmark and the United States that grants the United States broad access to Greenland. In addition, the Kingdom has made significant investments in security in the Arctic. I therefore strongly urge the United States to cease its threats against a historically close ally and against another country and another people who have stated very clearly that they are not for sale. Yeah. Here I'm like, dude, I'm good not taking over Greenland. I think they're kind of like, I think they're chill, I think they're pretty chill. I don't think we actually have to take it over. If it was up for sale, that would be a different discussion, but they're not up for sale. Maybe this is one of those things where it's like, oh, I'll never sell it. But it's like, what about $500 billion? Would you sell Greenland? And I mean, how many $1 billion is Greenland worth? Let me ask Grok. I'm actually curious. How much money is Greenland worth? Let's find out. I'm actually curious what Grok has to say about this. And then we'll get back to things. It estimated it to be worth, okay. Wait, what? 12.5 to $77 billion? Wait, so you're telling me if we show up with $200 billion, we might be able to buy Greenland? Just like straight up? That's not bad. That's not that bad, dude. I would go skiing, you know? I wonder if they have mountains that you could ski there. That would... Boys, are we buying Greenland? I don't think that they want to sell it, and obviously it would not be something that I support to just invade Greenland. Like a lot of this rhetoric is a little bit questionable, we'll say. But hey, I mean, we'll hear it out. We'll hear it out. All right, what else we got? Oh, we're almost done with some of the stuff. Oh, geez. And then I have some other stuff I want to get to, but probably got another 20 minutes or so. Yeah, here's the thing. So Taiwan, though, is definitely like gone. With the U.S. now in control of Venezuelan oil reserves, it becomes much riskier for China to move against Taiwan. I really just don't agree with Bill Ackman here. I don't agree. I don't think that it's that much riskier for China to move against Taiwan. I think they want to do it anyway. I think if anything, this is almost like the U.S. kind of trying to hedge a little bit. Like we recognize that Taiwan is probably going to be invaded by China at some point in the near future. Jake Lucky from Anduril has been just saying like 2027 is the year that people are anticipating that China probably invades Taiwan. And that's that. The Chinese government has said over and over again, we're taking Taiwan. They've said it. They want to take Taiwan. And we're investing in massive chip fabricators in the United States. We've been investing in that for years, knowing that that's probably going to happen. There's a reason why we're pouring so much money into, onshore investment on technologies that we normally have relied on Taiwan for. And if we have serious control or influence or at least profit coming from Venezuela, that will help in the event that Taiwan does fall to China, which it's looking more and more like it's going to happen. I mean, not even like just a few days ago, December 30th, the People's Liberation Army, this is for China, did an exercise right around all the red boxes are where they were doing exercises. This is Taiwan. This is China. Taiwan is not China. And look at all the military exercises they're performing. You're telling me that they don't want Taiwan? They're going to go for it. They're going to take it. They're testing missiles. They're testing landing ships. They have one of the biggest naval fleet. They have the biggest naval fleet in terms of sheer numbers at this point. Like, they're taking Taiwan. The U.S. is just preparing for this because it's coming. All right. There was like one or two more things. Oh. I have to bring this one up. This is very interesting to me. No results. Let's see. PLTR. Oh, not my bookmarks. Let's just see. This has got to be one of the best tweets. Maduro just found out why Palantir is a $500 billion company. I mean, we're talking about... Palantir is a $500 billion company for a reason, okay? Regardless of what you think about them. The United States being able to send 150 aircraft in and around the region for Venezuela, to send hundreds of U.S. servicemen in and around the line of fire, to go in and just extract a dictator with zero loss of life to Americans, tells you what the skill gap is between the American military and everyone else that's not named China. Like, it's actually insane. And when you have to wonder to yourself, like, why is Palantir trading at 360x its profits, right? Like profit over earnings, its PE ratio. It might have something to do with the fact that we could just do that because of the technology that Palantir and others like them provide. Like, that's crazy. The skill gap is just, it's absurd. It's silly that we could do stuff like this. It's silly. This is why Palantir is a $500 billion company. Yeah, that might be a clip. Clip that. All right, let's see what else. I think there were a couple other things I wanted to touch on. So I'm pulling them up. Oh, there were a couple other bookmarks I wanted to get to. I want to talk a little bit more about crypto and some of the stuff that's been going on. But it's going to take me a second. Okay. Maybe not there. Maybe not there. No, where was the post? Where was the post? It was about Monad. There was something about Monad that I was interested in. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. I've been seeing a lot more discussion about buybacks, right? A lot of people are upset about buybacks or trying to say, like, what else would have Hyperliquid done if not for buybacks, right? You have Mert saying that buybacks are kind of like, let me see what Mert had to say. Hold on. Mert, I want to have this be cohesive. Buy? Oh my God, he tweets so much. It's crazy. Mert, buybacks. There we go. This should put it up. Yeah. So Mert said buybacks are an inherently pessimistic mess. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. My words today, they do not serve me. Mert says buybacks are an inherently pessimistic mechanism. Okay. Like, the idea is that we don't have a better use for the cash than otherwise to just paint the chart in the short term in hopes that the chart works out long term. This has been a big discussion in the crypto world for the past few days, weeks, as like, are buybacks actually viable, right? Because Hyperliquid is still going down in price, right? Hyperliquid is the golden child of buybacks, and yet the price is still going down. So here's the thing, like, okay, you have $5 on hand. Let's bump it. You have $100 on hand. What are you going to do with that $100? Are you going to spend it on just buying your token outright, or are you going to spend it on growth, right? In hopes that the marketing that you do gets people to buy more than $100, right? So your marketing, your $100 of marketing is worth $1,000 of actual buy pressure that you've generated, or that you invest it back into the company and you develop new products, services, whatever, such that you can actually sell those for in excess and like generate in excess of $100, saying that they're inherently pessimistic. I don't think that's accurate whatsoever. It's just not. Like, there is such a thing as, one, having plenty of cash on hand, right? Like, there's if you have enough cash on hand that you can do all the internal investing that you intend to do and all the growth that you intend to do without, like, all the marketing that you intend to do without having to, spend all of your resources, then you're going to have extra resources on hand. What can you do with that? Wall Street and investors generally discount cash to zero. It's like, what's the point of dollars if you're going to do nothing with it? You need to be spending your money. You need to be spending your money such that you can make more money and become a more valuable company. That's the whole idea of having cash on hand. So what are you doing with it? In that case, buybacks are valuable. Like, at least then you are directly impacting the assets that people care about the most by increasing the value of the product, right? Increasing the value of the coins, of the shares, whatever it is that you're buying back. That's valuable. They're not inherently pessimistic. Is that always the best allocation of capital? Not always. Definitely not always, especially in crypto, which is a growth-centric industry. Crypto is growth-centric. It's tech, and beyond that, it's like hyper-growth. So yeah, people want to say, like, okay, you have $1,000. Make that $1,000 worth $100,000 of buy pressure by investing in the right marketing, investing in the right products, bringing in the right people. Yes. Do I agree that Hyperliquid should spend every single dollar that they make, every single dollar of fees on buybacks and not, I don't know, investing in their own product or, I don't know, doing literally any marketing? I think it's a mistake. Yeah. But it's also part of the social contract that they have now agreed to. If Hyperliquid cut their, fee spend from 100% of their fees to 90% of their fees, that social contract is violated. People expect Hyperliquid to they expect the buybacks. That's why they use Hyperliquid. That's why they buy Hyperliquid, because they're expecting buybacks. That's the whole idea. And if they do anything less than 100% right now, that's violating the social contract. And I would be scared if I was a hype holder. Like, oh, you're just going to cut off 10% of buy pressure? So then you could just cut off like 20 and about 30. And then where does the marginal buyer start to fall off? Where does the marginal buyer start to get scared? And yes, like one of the things that people have been pointing to, and I think pointing to wrongly, is this idea of like, they spent billions on marketing to be left with no users. One, Monad is actually starting to catch some traction, so mistake of a post. And yeah, they spent billions on marketing, but they also had bad products. If you market a good product, guess what it can get? More users. Boom. Who would have guessed? Marketing isn't innately valueless. It is extremely valuable. There's a reason why companies that know what they're doing spend unbelievable amounts on marketing. It's not just like this accident. It's not a major at school because it's a bullcrap type of job. Like, it's real. It actually has value. People actually care about marketing. It does drive customers to a business. It's not made up. So to say that Hyperliquid should do just no marketing, it's got plenty of marketing on its own. Guess who's coming from Hyperliquid's lunch? Coinbase is coming for Hyperliquid's lunch. Robinhood is coming from Hyperliquid's lunch. Robinhood is coming for their lunch. Like, this is not, they're not just alone here. They have Lighter, Robinhood, Coinbase, you name it. The CBOE is trying to launch perp, mimicking stuff. The NASDAQ will probably try and mimic it. Hyperliquid is not in this, like, if they're targeting, Jeff goes on TBPN and he says, oh yeah, Hyperliquid could be as big as finance. It could envelop all of finance. And if they're trying to be, literally, they call it the house of finance. If you want to be the house of finance, you have to compete with finance. And finance is coming for Hyperliquid's throat. Because there's so much money there. Rightfully so. So is marketing valuable? Probably. Who are you marketing to? Right? Like, that's the question. Like, who are you marketing to? You're marketing to the user that in 2 months is going to be trading on Robinhood perps and not on Hyperliquid perps. That's who you're trying to get. You're trying to get the potential Robinhood perp trader before they're on Robinhood. That's it. It's simple as. Because once they're on Robinhood, you think they're leaving? Robinhood's going to be a very effective platform when they have perps going live and across the country, across the world. And you think Hyperliquid doesn't have any interest in marketing to that user? They do. And they absolutely should. Again, the .hl community never fails to astound you with like their absolute just don't care about reality. They just there is no such thing as reality. Hyperliquid is the golden haven. Jeff is literally God. That's the Hyperliquid community. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind. But what can you really say, man? What can you say? Let me see if I can get back. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. So no, I don't think that buybacks are innately pessimistic. I think if all you are doing are buybacks, yes, you could call it inherently pessimistic. But to say full stop that they're inherently pessimistic is just a miss. Let's see. What else? There was something else I wanted to comment on. Oh, I remember what I wanted to comment on. What time exactly was the Venezuela raid? I want to find exactly what time it was. 2 a.m. local time on Saturday, January 3rd. Well, it was Friday night. Yeah, Friday night, so Saturday morning. Okay. So let me pull this up. So about here. Or no. Yeah, about like here-ish. Okay. So around, I don't know, around this area, roughly speaking, was when the United States invaded. Okay, this is the Bitcoin chart on a 1-hour time frame. And around this area, roughly speaking, the United States invaded Venezuela. This was the invasion. And normally, the concept in Bitcoin is you buy the invasion. When you're trading Bitcoin and you're looking at international politics, you buy the invasion. Here, there's a dip. It absolutely comes down a little bit as the invasion goes on. Around here, we start realizing that U.S. troops didn't die, and it was a successful invasion. And wow, the market responded positively. Like, the market for Bitcoin didn't really dump on the invasion, which it tends to do on any significant invasion. It tends to dump. And then it actually comes up like pretty hard from 89,000 to 91,000 and trading pretty strongly. I mean, my question is Bitcoin maybe ready to pump? Like, if the sellers might actually be exhausted, if they're not selling an invasion of a foreign nation, if they like, are there sellers left? My rational take is, yeah, there probably are still plenty of sellers left. And I think the market has just been painful for a while and is looking for some kind of relief. And I think that's fair. But I also think that this invasion was seemingly kind of it was so unbelievably efficient that no one really even had the opportunity. Like, it was done at night on a Friday. At night on a Friday, the equities market didn't really get a chance to respond. So, like, and by the time everyone woke up, it was over and it was a success. Done, dusted. Everyone was out of there. I don't really think that this would follow those rules. I don't know about, the whole idea of buy the invasions, because we sweep them. So I don't know if this is like Bitcoin is getting ready to pump, but it is nice to see some relief on Bitcoin trading over $91,000. Pretty big. At least, even if we come lower, right? Like, even if we go down lower than this, at least we're showing that there is some still remaining buy pressure around here. We're developing a support level that I think we'll later breach through, because we're probably going lower, but I do think we later breach through this, and we've now got excellent support in the 90s when we finally do break back up. That looks, to me, that's not bad. Can't complain. I wanted to point out something else. Bread. He said something very interesting. Very interesting. About buybacks. Am I not going to find it? Oh, wait, he did it in a reply. Maybe I'm not going to find it. Oh, man. That's annoying. Well, gee shucks, I actually wanted to see that. Let me just look. Let me look at it. Hold on. I have one more ace card up my sleeve. I will find it. If I just search. Okay, if I just search that. Buyback. Okay, check this out. Twitter advanced search just sucks. Okay, like, it's just the worst thing that's ever happened. Yeah, I just can't. Oh, wow. Found it. Found it from a reply of a reply. Bang. That's what I was looking for. That is exactly the tweet I was looking for. Hold on. Share this tab instead. Ceteris says, lots of words being written on buybacks over the last few days. It's quite simple. Buybacks have always been useful in crypto to signal that the token isn't worthless. That's it. The signaling matters more than anything else. I actually generally kind of agree with him right now. Like, I do actually agree with him. Buybacks generally do excellently for more mature companies, like the Coca-Colas of the word. Like the Coca-Colas of the world. So it's a very strong signaling. It's a very strong signaling mechanism. Bread says 100% this. It's a trust signal in an industry that has been repeatedly psyoped into believing the tokens were a claim to anything. Here's the interesting part. Bread isn't speaking for Mega ETH, but he is the go-to-market on Mega ETH. Mega ETH is going to have buybacks. Expect it. That's my not even a hot take. That's my very seemingly clear prediction that Mega ETH is going to have buybacks. I am very excited for the Mega token. I think if any L2 has a real shot that isn't named Base and isn't named, I guess, Arbitrum, it's Mega ETH. I'm excited. Clip that. All right. So then I think that's probably about. Am I missing anything? Let me just do a quick run through and see if there's anything on the internets that I'm missing. What the hell is that? What? What? Is this a real count? Popcorn time. Oh my God. I will withhold my opinion from the @Israel War Room tweeting popcorn sand timer emoji. Hourglass. Whatever. Wild. All right. Oh my gosh. Oh man. It's probably a good idea sometimes to scroll the internet, see what happens. That's the other thing. I don't really have a tweet for this, but one of the wild things that happened in Venezuela was we knocked out their power. Like Trump was like, oh yeah, we have a capability. We turned off the power to a country at will. We just felt like it. We did. We have that ability. It's actually the United States of America, the United States military has an unbelievable skill gap against anyone else that isn't named China or, maybe arguably Russia. It's almost silly. Like we went in there and just turned off all of their lights. Absurd. Like what? Oh my God. Dudes be 27 saying, what's the move tonight, bro? Bro, go buy property in Venezuela. Oh, that's fire. That's actually fire. That is a banger. I like that, Abril. I like that. That's funny. You know what? Maybe I should just do some of this, some scrolling on Twitter. Like, this is hilarious. Oh my gosh, dude.
El señor Donaldo J. Trumpo, your ex-presidente, el señor Maduro, is no longer your presidente.
We have gone way too far with AI. We have gone way too far. That's absurd. Are you serious? Are you serious? He is no longer your. That's Russian. No longer your presidento. Are you serious?
He kept talking shit, and fucking around, though, and he ultimately found out, though. Anyway, we're going to make Venezuela.
AI is way too far, dude. It is just way too far. This is, dude, like, also, speaking of AI going too far, Grok, put them in American flag bikinis. There's a weird trend going around on Twitter right now. It's a little bit extreme, where if you tag Grok and you ask it, hey, make an image of this, it will just do it. It will just make that image. And if you ask it to make adult content, or show nudity, it won't do that. But the workaround is you just ask it to show someone or something in a bikini. And people have been asking Grok nonstop, put them in bikinis. On a lot of women, as one could expect, but also on a lot of very comical individuals. I got to see if Grok did it. No way, it did. Oh my God, but only for it picked the wrong person. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Jeez, guys. We were talking about this earlier. When you're a dictator and you see the pizza trackers start going off. There is a pizza tracker. There's a it literally, you got to see this. You actually have to see this. There is a tracker. It just tracks what is the current state of, like, are these pizza places that are near the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., are they busy? And if they're busy, maybe it's nothing. But if they're really busy, and if it's, I don't know, 3 a.m. in the morning, maybe there's something going on, because maybe United States lawmakers and important individuals and personnel are staying overnight and need food. And what's the easiest way to get food at a Jiffy? It's pizza. So they're just ordering pizza, and people are saying, oh my God, Domino's Pizza is currently much busier than usual. What's going on? What's in the situation room? Like this, international politics right now is based on pizza. It's like ridiculous. What are we talking about? All right, we'll keep going for another 2-3 minutes here. Oh my gosh. Wow. My entire TikTok is just US military, or my entire TikTok is US military aura edits with "I hate Trump, but this was tough" comments. I mean, oh, I'm not even showing this. I'm not even showing it. Hold on. My entire TikTok is US military aura edits with "I hate Trump, but this was tough" comments. Patriotic vibe shift. Let me see here.
Aquí lo esperan, Miraflores. No se tarde en llegar, cobarde. Successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night.
I broke the rule, cause this bitch a witness. Plus I just popped through, but she ain't crying. And this hoe is smiling, plus this bitch look cute, so we slide out.
Dude, I mean, like, what can you say? What can you say? It is tough. It goes pretty hard. He said, "Come get me," and then they just did. The U.S. God bless the U.S. military servicemen and women. That's crazy. And it does, whatever you want to say, that does go kind of hard. Yes, you like, what is this? What? Man. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? Anything else that's comical? I guess not. I think we're probably about there. Oh boy, I don't want to hear about tracks. That stuff's crazy. There's oh man. You know what? I think that's it. Oh wait. Oh geez. Kim.com. This guy. Some people. Anyway, I guess that's it. There's not really anything else I have to talk about or feel like talking about. So we're just going to wrap it up then. We're just going to wrap this puppy up. We're going to take this puppy home is what we're going to do. Chris, if you could breathe. Yeah, perfect. All right, guys. So you know the deal. We are going to be back on Tuesday at 5 p.m., Thursday at 5 p.m. We are doing 5 p.m. Monday. 5 p.m. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Eastern time for the foreseeable future. Got lots to talk about. Thank the world for being as entertaining as it is, because there's basically always something to talk about. There really just is always something to talk about. We'll try and bring some more guests in on the show over the course of the next few weeks and months, and we'll keep things rolling. Keep things rolling, keep things entertaining, and it'll be fun. All right, ladies and gents, we're going to wrap this puppy up. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your week, and get after it. Peace, guys.